MPTV, my Piper the soccer mentor! Hey guys, just before I start this interview with David, I thought I'd let you know that the interview you're about to see is superb. Not from myself, from David. He brings some superb insight to the winger position that I know is going to help you guys out a lot for those of you that play winger. He's got massive insight into the area, and he really surprised me in a way. How deep he went with his info and how well he put it across. The interview actually lasted nearer to an hour, so obviously I can't put a video up there for an hour, but what I am going to do is cut it down and maybe have 2 or 3 videos. So definitely keep a lookout when you've watched this video. This is part 1. Definitely keep a lookout for part 2 because it's some great stuff. Hope you enjoy it. Listen, great show for you today, guys. Mr. David Bell. We've never played together, never trained together, but your wife knows my wife. Yeah. And that's how we met. Yeah. And I've asked you to come on the show.
Hi guys.
And you said you'd come on and talk to us about your career. Yeah. David was a right winger like me. Yeah. So it was just to give you another angle on the right wing position, but I wanted to start with, how did it all start for you? So I know you started lower league. What league were Rushden in at the time?
Rushden, when I was there as a schoolboy, we're actually in the conference. I went there when I was 13 and they were in the conference, and I think they got promoted to the league about 2 or 3 years later. And then the year I joined as a YT was the year, that was the year they got promoted to the Football League.
Got you.
And then I had a 1-year YT, signed pro at 17. And then made my debut at 18. In the first
so young?
Yeah, young. It was Wrexham at home, remember it? Wrexham at home we played.
Nervous?
Yeah, I was nervous. Yeah, the thing is, the manager didn't tell me I was playing, didn't tell me I was in the squad. Yeah. I think he done it for the right reasons, because obviously I probably wouldn't have got no sleep that night.
Yeah. How did you do in that first game?
I've done alright. I didn't set the world alight, but I didn't look out of place. Yeah. And I think that was...
And that's at 18 years old?
Yeah, 18. And I'll tell you who I came up against. You probably remember him. I actually played on the left midfield that day, my debut, my left midfield, and Carlos Edwards played for Wrexham at the time.
Oh yeah.
You know,
went on to Sunderland.
Sunderland, Luton, Ipswich.
Yeah.
Who was at the time, at that level, was probably the best player at the level. Yeah. So not only am I fast, strong, quick, direct. Yeah. He was lightning. So I'm thinking, young kid, young, naive, playing against probably the best player in the league at that time, and I'm on the same side of the pitch as him, it was a little bit unnatural for me being a right winger. Yeah. So not only am I making my debut at 18 against probably the best player in the league, I'm on the opposite side of the pitch that I'm used to.
Yeah. And this is an interesting point I wanted to talk about, because we spoke about it just before we came on. There's a few things I want to ask you, and the fact that you spoke about Carlos Edwards, I've had a question come through from a young lad on here. He said, when I'm playing against faster, stronger players, just like you did on your debut, but what would your advice be now to playing against a faster, stronger player?
I think when you're playing against someone that's, we'll go back to Carlos Edwards at the time, when I say lightning, he was lightning, he glided across the ground. Yeah. It didn't even look like he was running fast, but he was electric. Mm. The biggest thing for me was, don't let people turn and run at you, because once they get turned and they face you up, you're on the back foot.
It's difficult.
You're twisting, you're turning, going back the way. They've got all the ascendancy. They're building up the momentum. Mm-hmm. So for me, every time we got the ball, I thought, well, I don't want him to make me look silly. Yeah. So I was in his face, shutting him down. So he's got his back to goal.
Closing his space down.
Closing his space down. Mm-hmm. He would then maybe go back to the full back or play it back inside to his midfield player. Mm-hmm. But in my head, that was me. My job was done. Yeah. Because if he was getting turned all the time and getting at me and then getting at the fullback, I'm not doing my job in terms of protecting the fullback. Yeah. So that's the way I sort of would deal with a quicker or stronger player. I wouldn't give them the time to turn and get at you. I think as well, another thing, psychologically, as well, being a winner, that if you had a midfield player on your side or a fullback that every time you got the ball was in your face and shutting you down from the first minute, straight away subconsciously you're thinking, this is going to be a long day.
Yeah.
Whereas the first couple of minutes, you get the ball, you get turned, you got all the time in the world, you get your fullback, you drop your shoulder, you beat him, you get a cross in, straight away your confidence has gone through the roof, you think, I'm in for a good game there. So psychologically, shut him down before we can get going. So you know, the old cliches, first minute, first header, first tackle, make sure you're bang on it. Let them know, well, that's a minute, this guy, this guy's not knocking about. And subconsciously, even though you ain't doing much to him physically, he's thinking it's going to be a hard game before the game's even really got going.
Yeah. So acting like that at the start of the game, great advice. It works in two ways. It works to boost your own confidence on the pitch, but it also puts in the mind,
here we go.
Yeah.
He's one of them.
And that can give you that extra 5 yards that you need.
We'll have a few of them, won't we?
Mate, I just used to kick them. Early, I did, I swear to God.
Sometimes you have to.
Craig Bellamy picks up the ball, one of the fastest players ever, mate. Starts running at me, I think, nah, mate, you're going down. You've got to look and figure out your players, I think. And you look at them and you think, if he gets a bit of a hard tackle early on, he might shy away from coming near me. And then you've pushed him.
You've done your job, haven't you?
You've done your job. You've pushed him onto another one of your players on the other side of the pitch.
Let him go and ruin someone else.
The other thing I wanted to ask you, being the winger, and we spoke about this before we came on. Do you look when you cross the ball? So you get that half a yard, and a lot of people say, I picked him out, or
I think years gone by, before our era, I'd even say, that you maybe had the time and space to go past your fullback, look up, and then deliver the ball. But I think nowadays, because everybody's an elite athlete, you're playing against elite athletes, and unless you are that lightning quick, I don't think nowadays it's literally a case of, because you're playing against other elite athletes that are strong, quick, dynamic. You need to get your half a yard to deliver that ball, and you need to deliver. Now the chances of getting that half a yard with all the time in the world are slim, especially in today's game. So for me, the way I used to play, I was quite aggressive with the way I attacked. So I would get at a fullback, get by him, but I'd be getting by him at pace, at full speed. So for me, if I'm being totally honest, and I think if 99% of wingers are honest, you don't say, I picked him out. You
put it into an area.
You get past your fullback, or I've had managers, even centre forwards gone by over the years that I've played with, put the ball in an area where we can score. Don't pick me out, and that's one of the best bits of advice I've had off a fellow teammate or coach or manager. Is put the ball in an area where you can score. It's the same with set pieces, corners. You don't say, Beckham, best delivery probably that's ever been. I suppose, if you asked him the question, free kicks, set pieces, he don't pick people out. He puts the ball in the area where people can score. Which, that's what I try to do. And, one of my strengths as a winger was when I was running at pace, my delivery was good, running at pace, which is difficult.
So, the different types of crosses that you used to use as well. Did you ever do this one? This is the one I've said on the channel a few times. I never did it that often. But if it was one of them where it's getting late in the game, your legs are gone a little bit, you go to run your fullback, you let him move half a yard, and then he opens up the gap just behind his back. So you drill it behind his back. Do you know that one?
I did that a few times, especially if you come against the fullback that's quicker than you.
That's when I used to use it.
And you try and run him a couple of times, and he just goes, "No, not today, mate."
Takes the ball off you.
Then as a winger, you have to adapt. If the managers and coaches used to say to me, "Test him early. Test him if you've got the beating of him. See how quick he is." So I would do that.
So that was good advice.
Definitely. I would do that, and I'd try and run him. If I couldn't run him and beat him for pace, I'd have to beat him with dropping a shoulder or a step over. And for me as well, a lot of the time, especially when you played against a quick fullback, I check up. I would, if I couldn't go down the outside, I'd check back onto my left foot, and I'd deliver the ball with my left foot, and I'd do 2 or 3.
Did you work on that training?
I worked on that in training. Even against a mannequin, I would work on that. I'd go down the line, I'd come back, and I'd deliver with my left foot, because if you didn't have the beating of the fullback, you can't just keep running down the channel and blocking your crosses all game. So
Forrest Gump.
You need to bring something different. So I would, I would maybe, throw the chop out there, get back onto my left foot and deliver my left foot, do 2 or 3 of those. Then the fullback's got a decision to make.
Yeah.
If his manager's screaming at him saying stop the cross, so if I then go down the line, he might think, well, he's going to chop back on his left foot there, get a bit tighter to me, which then gives me my half a yard down the line to put the ball in.
Exactly.
So that's what.
I think over the years I've always thought this, and I know you're going to say the same. But your arsenal of attacking weapons, you want to make it as big as possible, don't you?
I think to sum it up, again, we all know football's about opinions, but I think the more unpredictable you are as a player, I think they are the best players in the world. I think when you look at Messi, Ronaldo, Iniesta, that type of player, Suarez. When Suarez gets the ball as a centre half or a fullback, if you're just in your area, you don't know he probably don't know what you're going to do with the ball. So how are you as a defender supposed to know? And I think the more unpredictability you can have to your game, the better player you're going to be. Because if you're a winger and you keep going down the line and he keeps blocking your crosses, the fullback's happy. So you need. If you can beat him for pace, keep doing it. Don't change it. If it's working, don't change it. But you need a plan B if it's not. If it's not working, well, what else? Is my left foot good enough? Right, well, it's not. Well, I need to work on that then. Because if he's quicker than me, what do I do? And then you might need to bring a step over and drop your shoulder and stuff like that. So you definitely need a plan B, but the unpredictability is I think, what sets players apart.
And when you spoke about that, I spoke about it on the channel before with some of the other guys that have been on, is that unpredictability is playing a lot of the time. I was at my best when I played off instinct. So basically what I'm talking about, ball gets played out, I get a touch, and then you react to what you're going to do there and then. If I started thinking before a game, right, my first time I'm going to take it inside, I'm going to try and bring him in with me, then I'm going to go outside. You play to the picture in front of you.
I think if you do play like that, and that you're playing in your head, that's what you're going to do. I think you make it easy for your opponent. Because even though he can't see what you're going to do, the way you're going to set your body up to come inside, or you're going to take him down the outside all the time. As a professional player, you can read that. You can say, right, well, every time he gets it, he's chested down and wants to get at me. So I know every time he chests it down, I can get right in his face and tight because I know he's going to take me down the line. So again, it comes to that, mixing up unpredictability that the ball comes into you. 9 times out of 10, coaches and managers will say, and I'm sure they've said it to you over the years, play your first picture. Because 9 times out of 10, it's the right one. It's when you have a touch and you bring it down and you think, what am I going to do now? The picture's changed from what, maybe you should have bent one round it into the front man, and you've had an extra touch, well, that's now gone. But that was probably the best option. And then you start thinking about overcomplicating it, and you make things difficult for yourself. So I think that's a good bit of advice to any young player, is play the first picture you see, because 9 times out of 10, it's the right one.
It's the right one. That's good advice. So, because basically I've spoke about pictures and painting pictures and all that kind of thing. So the snapshot, I call it snapshots as well. So as soon as you receive the ball and you put your head up, if you see a runner, play him.
Yeah, without doubt. Because if you play the ball, especially into the box, even if you've got it, even if you're a bit deeper as a winger and you get it at your feet and their back four's high and you see a runner, rather than, like you say, picking someone out, put it in that area behind the back four, because no centre-half like running back towards their goal. And how many own goals you see from centre-halves where the ball's whipped in, they're running towards their own goal, they're dangling their leg and it's in the bottom corner. It happens all the time, and it used to be called over the years, put it in that corridor of uncertainty.
It is,
Which is, the goalie's like that, he doesn't know whether to come or stay. The centre-half's thinking, well, if I stick a leg out here, I might score an own goal. And you make things easy for your centre-forward, because obviously he's facing the goal.
So that's 9 times out of 10 where you used to aim for when you was a winger, the second 6-yard box.
Yeah, definitely. That was what I would...
The corridor of uncertainty.
That's...
Mate, I can't even say it.
That's what we used to call it anyway, the corridor of uncertainty. Like you say, the goalkeeper don't know whether he's coming or going. The centre-half's going back towards his own goal. And it makes things easier for your centre-forward, because you're in an area where you can score. I played with Clinton Morrison at Coventry, who played
character.
Real good character. He played for Republic of Ireland, a real good career, real top player. And he used to say to me, stick the ball in the frame of the goal, so where I can score. So
that's what my old man used to say to me when I was growing up.
Because
that's a great piece of advice.
Because if you see centre forwards scoring inside the box, in terms of scoring outside the width of the frame of the goal.
Yeah, that's such a good point. So say this picture here is the goal.
Yeah.
The top strikers I've played with as well, and I've not said this on the channel, that's why I wanted to paint a picture from so they can see it. When the ball's landing in from across, you want it between the goalposts.
Yeah.
Because very rarely do you see a goal scored from here, like back across this way, or at the front. You can score from there. I can't believe I've not said that on here before. That's a great point. And they want the ball coming down in between the posts.
And I think as well that don't just apply for centre forwards, because as a wide player, you play there yourself. My coaches and managers and teammates to a point over the years would scream and shout at me because I would always be the one that would be standing outside the back post waiting for that perfect one to come over for me to volley in the top corner, which doesn't happen, or it happens once in your career. Now, I was constantly told, if this is the frame of the goal and the ball, you're crossing the ball from the left hand side, be in here because that's where you're going to score goals, not out here. And it was true. You know, I had that quite a lot throughout my career. And towards the end, the penny dropped for me. And you know, towards the end of my career, I was scoring more goals towards the end than I was early on, which simply because if the ball was coming in from the opposite side, I was within the frame of the goal, because that's where you know, look at Ronaldo. How many goals has he scored from within the frame of the goal? So for any young kid out there, get in between the frame of the goal.
Big advice. Second 6 yard box. What we mean by second 6 yard box is penalty spot and 6 yard line. That corridor there. Because if you cross the ball and it's in the 6 yard box, keepers all day long. Boom. If you cross it this side of the penalty area, they're coming to attack it, get it away. If it's in that corridor
of uncertainty,
that's the one. Boom, whip it in there. You've got a chance of scoring own goals. Your teammates can get on it. Keeper don't know whether to come or stay. And I see you've got this brilliant t-shirt on, nice hat. Mate, I need one of them. I want one. Right, and I know that's what you're doing now, among other things, but you quit the game through injury like myself. You finished at 30? 29.
29.
Finished at 29 at Cov. No,
I was at Notts County at the time.
Oh, Notts County.
I just left Cov, and I went to Notts County that pre-season. And I had about 3 months there, and that was me. But I think from the injuries I had at Cov, going to Notts County was sort of a new challenge, a new start, but it was the same old problem. So
same as me.
In the end, I decided, you know, I can't put my body through this anymore, and that was it. So I decided to call it a day.
So the gear is this is a funny one, because I spoke to you and I'm going to try and get him on as well. This clothing line and hat line and everything is called the Loyal Love.
The Loyal Love.
The Loyal Love. Guys. Boom, that's what he's doing now. He's some good gear. Mate, I weren't joking when I said I want a hat. I wear them all the time. But the Loyal Love, and you're doing it with a current footballer.
A friend of mine who was with a club called Russian Diamonds. I'm going back probably.
Well, he was there when you was there?
I was just sort of. I was in the first team, and in fact, a guy called Lee Tomlin.
He plays for Bournemouth now.
He plays for Bournemouth now in the Premier League. He got released at Leicester at 16. He came and played for
another example.
He came and played for Rushden. Non-league as an apprentice. And you know, he is literally, you know, a similar story to Jamie Vardy. Not quite the glitz and glam of winning the Premier League, but he's now playing. He's gone from non-league to the Premier League after taking a massive setback. Leicester was his hometown club, so you know, he channeled his frustrations in a positive way, and you know, that the Leicester coach that released him. When you look back now and say, well, you know, he's gone for X amount of millions of pounds and he's playing in the Premier League, someone's got to look back and say, well, we made a mistake with him.
Good player.
Very good player. But yeah, he's my business partner with a Loyal Love. So yeah, www.loyallove.com. Check us out, guys. Got some nice gear on there.
Yeah, it's brilliant, mate. I can't believe I weren't asked to be a third partner. Alright, but at least I'm getting a hat. You heard it on here, guys. Listen, top man. Thank you for coming on.
No problem. Anytime.
Brilliant advice from Dave. Make sure you come on again.
Yeah, no problem.
I mean, you got to come on again. I mean, all we did today was really cover the winger position.
Yeah.
Because I admired you as a player, especially out on the wing. like myself, but these guys are going to keep getting bored if I keep telling them how to do things. But you've mentioned some things today and gone deep with your info that I know is going to help these lot. Yeah. So top man for coming on.
No problem, mate.
And make sure you check out his website.
Yeah. Loyal, the Loyal Love.
And you've got to get in Lee's ear as well, Lee Tomlin's ear.
Yeah.
To try and get him on.
Yeah, definitely. He'll tell you his story better himself. From the horse's mouth, if you like. But it's a perfect example of.
It would, and it'd be good. I mean, it's great to have all you guys on. I really appreciate you coming on and helping these guys. But to get a current Premier League player on, would be great for these guys as well, and hear some stories from him.
Definitely.
So you'll have to get in his ear.
Yeah, no problem, mate.
Listen, guys. As always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you again soon. And we'll see you again soon as well. See you later. Yes, Davey!